Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Have You Ever Played podcast, the only podcast that spans 4 discs. It's your boy, Matt Fondude, aka Matt, here with my co host, as always.
Hi, I'm James, aka James04E. I fit on only 3 discs.
Oh, damn. Imagine being a 3 disc person. When I hear a
Yeah,
3 disc, I think 2 discs and then maybe a special features kind of disc.
yeah, that's kind of how it went.
Yeah. Your whole life is 2 discs of content and 1 disc of just special features. James,
Yes.
what's your special feature?
Um, hmm, my special feature. That's a good question. I have a birthmark on my tongue.
There you go. That's your beta content. Cut
My
content.
beta content, my
All right.
pre-order exclusive content.
Yeah. Today is a side quest episode as usual. We are just going to be talking about whatever we want to talk about today. Mainly the new structure could be, hey, what's going on in your week? Slash, I think some Christmas holiday related questions. So let's kick it off here, James. What has been your week like in gaming, I guess, but also in general? But what have you been playing anything recently this week?
Yeah. So my friends wanted to start playing some sort of like open world co-op zombie game. I'm like, I'm down for that. Which one do you want to play? There's a lot of them. They say Dead Island.
Oh, that's not very open world, I guess.
Yes. So I start the game. First thing I notice is in the menus, the mouse feels awful. Like horrendous. Like I literally the first 5 seconds of opening the game, I said out loud, I'm not meant to be playing this on PC.
Is it accelerated mouse input? Like
No, it
what's
actually
wrong
feels like
with
I'm
it?
taking my mouse through mud.
Oh, the sensitivity is really
Yeah.
really low.
Yeah. It was weird. And like as we started playing the game more, like there was a bunch of input lag and like the sensitivity scaling was really, really bad. Like it was one of those games where they think everybody plays on uber high sense, and then when you get to like a couple pixels of sensitivity, it starts becoming normal,
Hmm.
and then you like have to super fine tune it from there. Like literally need like a magnifying glass.
See, I thought you were gonna say like a Project Zomboid or something like that. I don't even know what
No,
that game is, but I just assumed. I was not thinking you were gonna be talking about Dead Island of all things.
yeah,
Uh, I have
it,
some vague experience with that game. I played the knife lady in that game and the bladed weapons character
hmm,
and got a little bored after running around like a beach resort thing for
yeah,
4 hours, like throwing razor blades at people. I mean, it was kind of fun.
yeah. It was so my problems with it were first of all the game just feels awful on PC. I actually played it before on a I can't remember if I played it on Xbox or PlayStation, but it was either an Xbox One or a PS4. Don't know which, but I did play it before. I played a Sam B. I thought it was like kind of all right. Like I played single player. I didn't really play co op, but like I don't know. I just kind of ran around beating people up with melee weapons, and then I realized that the kick is just OP.
Mm.
So I kind of got sad and stopped playing. Um, then when I picked it up again, I think we got like an hour into the game and we just kind of gave up. I got sick of the environment really quick. The gameplay was just super clunky. It was obviously meant to be played on controller. Not even we hadn't even gotten to like shooting or anything yet. Like we hadn't found guns.
See,
Um,
you should have
yeah.
played the superior bad multiplayer zombie melee based combat game Dying Light.
Funny that you say that because after we all collectively uninstalled Dead Island, by the way, we found a key website that gave us Dead Island Riptide, and what was the third? Let me search my Steam library to find out what the other ones. Dead Island Retro Revenge.
Oh.
We got all three of those for $7. That
Oh.
probably tells you the state of these games, and they're making a sequel. The sequel looks like it might actually be fine.
You
I
know what's
hope.
weird? I saw an ad for this sequel game that you're talking about. There was like a trailer for it that had like it wasn't Jack Black. It was the guy who does the voice acting for Jack Black on like TV shows and stuff. So like the Kung Fu Panda TV show. It's like his sound alike was
Hmm.
in the trailer. I don't. Do you remember this weird trailer for this Dead Island project? That was it was someone running. It was like I think it was like a woman or like a guy running, on like in like California or something, and then
Hmm.
slowly there's like zombie
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah,
happening,
I
and
remember that. It's like it looks like a normal day, and then in the background it's just zombie stuff.
yeah, I was like, oh man, when is this coming out? And then it just never happened. And I guess
Yeah,
that must have got canceled. And I guess yeah, you're right. They are like coming out with something eventually. I don't know if it's gonna be the
yeah.
same game.
So it was back in 2016, I believe that they
Jesus.
announced it. And basically what happened is it kept going between studios. Now it's like a subsidiary of Deep Silver or something like that working on it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I need
Yeah.
to see more gameplay and
I
stuff, but
I'll play it. I guess if it's I'm probably not gonna buy it if it's 70 $60 at
yeah,
launch.
I'm
But
not I'm not trusting it enough to buy it full price,
yeah.
but I am willing to try it out eventually because it does at least look better. Looks like a game. I was we were actually joking while we were playing. We were comparing the game to Left 4 Dead 2 because it came out in 2011, and we were like, guys, Left 4 Dead 2 had all this stuff figured out years ago. Please, we can do better.
I don't know. It's one of those games where I think there is like a polarizing aspect where I think some people realize it's bad, but they really like it,
Yeah.
and then people are just like, no, this is just not fun. I think there's fun to be had with it, but it's I do think Dying Light is a more fun garbage game to play with
Yes.
friends. And it really scratches the same itch as Dead Island with better
Hmm.
movement. Um, that is to say, I've
Yeah.
only played Dying Light 1, not the sequel, which
Yeah, I heard the
apparently is
sequel's
okay.
bad. I played Dying Light 1 on PS4 and I thought it was pretty cool. I really liked the movement. So like we're gonna me and my friends are gonna play it this week at some point. It's like every night we one of us always says Dying Light, and it's always one person that's like, "Nah, I'm busy. I got other stuff to do." Like actually 10 minutes ago, one of my friends asked Dying Light. I'm like, dude, I'm
Nah, no,
no,
no. I'm
not
busy
tonight.
playing Dead Island. I'm 100% in Dead Island, getting the platinum
100%ing Dead
trophy.
Island, man.
The platinum trophy for seeing the end credits of Dead Island, a trophy no one has ever achieved.
Oh god. Yeah. What else did
Oh
I
man.
do? I also played a little bit of Castle Crashers because one of my college friends was like, "We should play a co-op game that's not terrible." I'm like, "Oh wow, Castle Crashers," and he had a really high level character in Castle Crashers, and I started on we started on my playthrough, and apparently you can just like go really far into the playthrough without even playing a level because it's like you just walk around between the levels.
Oh
And
yeah.
he just and both players or all the players in the lobby have control of where you go. So we were just like fighting for control, and he just took me to like the middle of the game, and I just kept dying. I'm like, wow, everything's like just a tank. I don't do damage.
See, I first played Castle Crashers on PS3, and it just reminds me of this magical era in gaming where you would like play a multiplayer game like that with random strangers with your headset. Like you'd have like a crappy garbage like $10 headset, and
Yeah.
you would join, and you would. This is very console specific because uh console players, and I think it's probably still similar to this nowadays, but maybe less so. But when you had a console, especially on like PlayStation 3 online, everyone had a garbage mic. Everyone had a garbage mic, and they were kind of always on. So
It was
you would
always the
just
default
hear,
mic.
yeah, you just hear like literal children or like random.
Yeah.
You'd play with the most random groups of people. So I just remember playing Castle Crashers and then getting in someone's lobby and then figuring out like they had a lobby where they had like all the items unlocked and stuff, or you
Yeah,
join
yeah,
and they'd
I
like
got
do
in
all
one
this
of those
crazy
too.
stuff.
You know what the cool thing about Castle Crashers that I figured out that kind of relates to your point about the mics always being on. Apparently, there's a push to talk button like on the controller.
What do
Like
you mean?
if you press down on the left thumbstick, it's push to talk.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think some game. It's been so long since I've played console games or games that have had. I'm so used to just talking in Discord or maybe
Hmm.
using a push to talk on like a PC game.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that has fallen off a lot, and I think it's
Hmm.
just based on the games that we play. Like Team Fortress 2 and Gmod, I played those games exclusively to talk to people. Like I wasn't actually playing the game; it was just to talk to people. And
Hmm.
now I don't know. People do that in TF2, I guess, still, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Overwatch is a different experience. The only reason you're getting on mic in Overwatch is if you're playing comp and you're trying very hard in solo queue.
Yeah, people don't really like socializing in games anymore. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, I think
There's
that's a
various reasons for that. Not
yeah.
entirely their fault, to be fair.
I think that's a big MMO thing too, where everyone's nostalgic
Yeah,
for all these old MMOs because you were a kid and you were talking to people, and now it's just efficiency in all these different games. You're not really having that fun community experience.
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, people are losing their jobs. Our economy is in a recession. COVID. I don't want to socialize that bad either. Honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. And also, I think if people are getting their itch via like joining discords and stuff like that, which is more accessible.
Hmm.
Because back in the day, you just had to go on Skype, and that was more intimate. And then I was using like TeamSpeak at one point,
Hmm.
and then Discord has made it really easy to connect with groups.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else did you do? Any other video game antics this week?
Let me think. I think there was one more thing, but I'm having trouble remembering. I think that's it. I rewatched some trailers from the Game Awards because I wanted to get more excited about Remnant 2.
Oh, you're
Uh,
really on the Remnant train.
yes. Then I was considering pre-ordering Diablo 4. I think I might have already told you about this. I was considering pre-ordering Diablo 4, and then I saw not only was it like $80 to pre-order it, but also there was all these other editions. Like, yeah, if you pre-order with the legendary edition for $100, you get access to the battle pass. I'm like,
Oh no.
okay, I'll play the game definitely, but I don't know if I'll get it too many of the bells and whistles. Like the beta is going to be open. It's just that if you pre-order it, you get like super early access apparently. So I'll be in there eventually.
Jeez. It's getting crazy, like $70 for games and $80 for games. And
Yeah.
it's like maybe I'll pay that for something that I know. Like Death Stranding 2, if that comes out and that's like $70, I'll buy it just to support a genius Kojimbo.
Hmm.
Um Mr. Kojima, writer, director, star, general cool guy, etc., action planner of everything of that game.
Yeah.
Um yeah, it would be pretty cool. I'll support it, whatever. But if it's like Call of Duty 72, it's like I don't want to pay them
Yeah.
$70 for get and then the battle pass. I'll buy it if it goes for like $5 on sale or whatever.
Hmm. An
I don't know.
interesting like small tangent about Kojima's like roles. I find it very interesting that like game designer kind of means a slightly different thing in Japan. Because like the game designers in Japan, lots of them are essentially directors with the
Hmm.
way that the games are set up, and I think that's like really interesting.
Well, based on the credits of oh yeah, I beat. Well, I guess getting into my week a little bit. I beat Death Stranding,
Hmm.
and it's just seeing like 400 credits for Kojima on everything, which is cool. I mean, if it is a flex. It is
Yeah.
clearly a flex, but if you did all the work, then I think he deserves to flex a little bit. But
Yeah. But yeah, being like a lead designer in a Japanese studio, it has to be stressful because I feel like they do so much.
yeah, I can't even
I
begin
feel
to
like
like
they just have
imagine.
so much responsibility.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess transitioning a little bit into my week. I don't remember if it was this week. It might have been last week actually that I beat Death Stranding. But after seeing the Game Awards and the announcement of Death Stranding 2, I decided to boot up Death Stranding and finally beat the game because like
Sick.
I had theorized, I was like 90% of the way through the game. And yeah, it was worth going back and beating it. Have you
Nice.
played Death Stranding at all?
Yeah, I got decently into the game. I did never finish it, but it wasn't because I lost interest or anything. It's just kind of I just kind of stopped, and also my
Hmm.
PS4 broke, so like
Oh
there's
yeah, we
that.
talked about this.
Yeah,
Yeah, we played on PS4. I mean, on the Steam winter sale, whenever that happens, maybe pick up the director's cut. It's probably worth
I think that's
a
happening
playthrough.
now. I could see what the cost is now.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll go on sale though.
Death Stranding director's cut.
Now, I didn't play the director's cut because I had already started a save
Oh,
file on the original, and you can actually export your save file from the original to the
mm-hmm.
director's cut, but I didn't want to have to reinstall the entirety of the director's cut. I
Yeah,
just wanted to
I'm
play
looking
it.
at it right now. Yeah, you can upgrade to the director's cut if you already bought the base game for 9.99. Then both is 39.99.
That's really not bad at all. And then
Yeah,
when it
it's
goes on
a pretty
sale,
decent
it'll probably
price.
be reasonable.
What are the changes with the director's cut? Actually.
So I looked them up, and it's a lot of quality of life changes.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being, I don't know if you got this far in the game, but you can have these little floating carriers that follow you
Yeah,
around.
yeah, I remember those. I
Uh,
remember using them
though,
in like the snow areas and stuff.
yeah. So actually, all right, slight mobility spoilers for Death Stranding for if you have not played Death Stranding. But when you get the zip line structure, when you get that, when you have access to the zip line, normally you weren't able to take the carrier with you, but in the director's cut, you're able to take the carrier, which is pretty cool.
Ooh, cool.
I thought the carriers were kind of pointless because you couldn't do that in the original game. Because it's like if I'm walking, I'm probably going to use the zip lines.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I looked at I think it was just a bunch of various changes like that, just quality of life, maybe some extra content. It was nothing like so crazy that it really motivated me to play it. I think it was more for consoles because it was an HD kind of. It ran better and looked better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still worth getting the director's cut and playing that. It's probably the definitive way of playing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I beat that. I was definitely worth going back and playing that game. That game rivals Metal Gear Solid 4 in the crazily long cutscene department,
Yeah, I remember that.
which I'm cool with. But that game has one of those things where I really hope you're not playing this game at midnight on a weeknight, or I really hope you're not playing this game at 10 p.m. on a weeknight because you're gonna be strapped in for 4 hours and
Yeah.
like and literally you're just held hostage, which is cool, and I appreciate the cutscenes and whatnot. But it is rough if you're like in the middle of okay, I have an hour to play. Uh
Mm-hmm.
oh.
Uh-oh, a cutscene started at
Uh
40
oh.
minutes.
The microwave hallway. Oh
Oh,
no. Yeah.
speaking of long cutscenes, though, I actually find it kind of funny the various ways games approach, the whole skip cutscene, like pause cutscene thing. Like there's some games where it's just, oh, you press A, this cutscene's getting skipped. And it's like, what the hell? I didn't want to
Oh
do
yeah.
that. I remember Halo Reach was the first game I saw that had like a failsafe where it's like if you press the skip cutscene button, a prompt will pop up and it'll say like press A to skip cutscene. Like it won't do it immediately. You have to do like a second button input. I know there are some games that like let you just pause during the cutscene, and I think there are even some that like save midway through the cutscenes. I don't
Now
remember examples, but
that was always a nightmare. Is this game? This was more like PS2 era and like earlier, where it's the
hmm
Wild West. If I press start, I really have to go to the bathroom, or my mom is yelling at me. I need to help
yeah,
bring in the groceries. If I press start, will this skip the cutscene or will it pause?
yeah, that's always the leap of faith when it's some really important cutscene you haven't seen before, and I'm like, I don't want to go to some walkthrough and find this point in the game to rewatch it. I want to experience it myself.
I had my Kingdom Hearts 2 experience ruined based on this. I had gotten to the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 by some miracle because
hmm
I had no idea what I was doing. I don't think for perspective, I was an idiot. I didn't know what the ability system was. Like I had no idea how anything worked. I don't think I equipped a single ability in my
Oh
entire
god.
run of that game because I just didn't know how it worked. So I somehow must have done like this actual like challenge run by accident because I'm like, oh, I don't know how abilities work. Like, I didn't know how like cure. I probably never used magic for cure. It's like I had no idea what the game was.
hmm
But I get to the ending and I beat the final boss, and then it starts a cutscene, and this was in the summer, and I remember this vividly. It was in the summer, and it was like, all right, we have to go to the store, and I'm like, wait, no, I gotta watch this final cutscene of Kingdom Hearts 2, and it was like, no, we had to go, and I didn't. I guess I'm sure it would have paused. If I paused, it would have been fine. I just didn't want to hit start because I was afraid it would skip, and I just didn't know what to do, so I just let the cutscene play.
Man.
And then I left and I came back and it was just the end of the like the ending screen of the game, and I'm like, I don't have the heart to beat the boss again because it was so hard. And I just
Yeah.
for years I had never learned the ending of Kingdom Hearts 2. And now that I think about it, I don't think I still kind of don't because I was playing Kingdom Hearts 2 on stream and I haven't beaten it yet. So I
Hmm.
may still not exactly remember the ending of 2.
Damn, no spoiler run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah, no closure run.
oh man, I remember once I had a similar situation where I had to go in the middle of a cutscene, and I actually did try to pause it. I'd press start. Now I don't remember what game it was, but it was just like a casual like cutscene, like you're in town talking to some people, and I come back to my screen. I see I died. I'm like, what killed me? I start again. It's a boss fight.
Oh,
I'm like, what happened? How did I get from there to there?
that's a classic like just leaving like I can't really think of an example, maybe a Dark Souls or something. I
Hmm.
can't really think of a concrete example, but like getting up and not pausing the game then coming back you're dead.
Yeah.
I feel like that has happened to me before, or it's something horrible like the game corrupted or something.
Hmm.
Remember when you would put in like a cartridge in like a Game Boy or something, and it would get bumped, and then the game would just go like it would like make horrible guttural screeching noises
Yeah.
and like freeze. Oh man,
Oh my
that
god,
was
that was
so
terrifying.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, with the rest of my week, I was so inspired by beating Death Stranding that I looked at my backlog of active games and I started playing Final Fantasy VII again, the original, and I also bought Remake because it was on
Ooh.
sale. Um, I am currently in Final Fantasy VII. I am currently on disc 2 of Final
Hmm.
Fantasy VII. I had played it a lot a while ago, like a pretty substantially, like a couple months ago, and what burned me out a little bit was I got disc 1. On disc 1 you can get the limit break for Cloud. The final limit break for
Hmm.
Cloud, spoilers alert for Final Fantasy 7 by the way, on weapon attacks. You can get
Yeah.
Omni Slash for Cloud if you go to the Golden Saucer on disc 1, which is his like final special move. But they make it a pain to do. Like you have to grind this mini game. This like battle. Have you played Final Fantasy 7?
I actually haven't. I did play Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core though.
Oh, okay. That game came to Steam actually recently, or a
Oh,
remake or
really?
something of it. Yeah, there's like there's something. Yeah, wait, look at Steam. There's a Crisis. There's a Final Fantasy 7. I don't know if it's Crisis Core, but it's something with
Oh god,
It's
what's
something like that,
the
right?
Roman numeral for
Wait,
7? Is
where's
it VII?
Final? Sorry, I'm being bad. It's called Reunion,
Oh yeah, I
but I
see it.
think
I see it.
it's I don't. Yeah, it's Crisis Core Reunion. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Regardless, that is on Steam now. I also think I think James' connection died while I was mid explanation. But
Maybe.
anyway, um, yeah.
Uh
So Crisis Core something or other reunion is on Steam. Is that what
yep,
you were
I
thinking
found
of?
yeah, I found it.
So that
It's
just like
15.
came out. Well, yeah, it just came out like 2 days ago on
Oh
Steam.
my god. Damn. I didn't think they were going to charge. How much did they charge for PSP games?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's like a remaster, remake, or something. I don't know anything about it.
I have no clue. Let's see. It's a remaster. Okay. So updated graphic, combat system, and soundtrack. Okay, fair enough.
You know what's crazy? My first exposure to Final Fantasy VII. Well, one was Kingdom Hearts, which is a bad way to experience that
Oh yeah,
game because
definitely.
none of the characters act at all like they do in the actual
Yeah,
Final Fantasy VII.
they're
Um,
Disneyfied.
but my second experience was watching the Final Fantasy VII movie on a UMD like PSP movie
Yes,
UMD, and I had
yes,
no
I remember
idea what
that.
was going on.
I had a very similar experience. Like I don't really know these guys, but they look cool and they're fighting.
Yeah. And then I, at one point in time, tried to play Final Fantasy VII on PS3 because you could buy the PS1 games. And I'm like,
Hmm.
man, Final Fantasy VII is supposed to be the best RPG of all time, but my brain was far too smooth to play a PS1 game, which is weird because like I grew up with like the PS1
Yeah.
games, but like I just couldn't sit there and play like a PS1 RPG.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I started playing it on the Steam version. Final Fantasy VII is really good, which is like an
Mhm.
understatement. I mean, everyone knows it's good.
It's pretty pog.
Um, I think that is one of those games where, do you know, sometimes people are like, "Man, these games are overrated." I think this is a game that gets so much praise and it's completely justified. Like I
Yeah.
really think it is very good.
Hmm.
And as someone who has no nostalgia for it at all, I'm playing it and having a very good time. Although there is a lot of quality of life things that could
Hmm.
exist in this game, such as there's these weird mini game breaks the game takes all the time,
Hmm.
where it's like, hey, play this mini game to guess the passcode. Guess the passcode. We'll give you hints. And on the PC version of the game, they don't use like the triangle button, square, circle, and X.
Yeah.
Or they say press the cancel button or the menu button or switch or like I forget what the other one like confirm. So it's like, yeah,
God.
there's a mini game where a character is yelling at you. It's like, Cloud, I think the password, I think number 2 is the confirm button, and I think the menu button is not used, and I think switch button is maybe used. And I'm like, okay, first of all, what do these buttons mean? Second of all, I have 4 minutes to do this, and I failed the first time. So this segment came after a bunch of unskippable cutscenes and combat
Hmm.
encounters without a save point. I'm like, cool. Uh, I did the mini game and I failed because you have 4 minutes to
Oh.
guess a password. I
Oh
failed,
no.
and I was like, oh, okay. They're just gonna like, I don't know. Maybe I'll get to retry. No, you just get locked out of content if you fail.
Oh my god.
Like if you can, they'll let you fail these mini games. And do you know how some games will be like, oh, like it's like fake, it's the illusion of choice. No, you
Yeah.
really can screw yourself over if you fail these. If you fail these mini games, you will just not get the item, which is pretty crazy. And I reloaded my save and had to go sit through the unskippable cutscenes, and it was
That
fine,
sucks.
but it was a little bit like, okay, it takes a braver man than me to fail a mini game that has like a really important item that you can miss, and then just be like, you know what? It's my playthrough. I'll take the L on that. It's just something I'm like, no, I have to get this, and
Man.
I've been doing that a lot with items that you can miss. Like there's a giant Fort Condor mini game, which is this stupid. It's kind of like a stupid RTS kind of mini game, or like it's
Hmm.
more like a tower defense mini game, but it's just a PS1, so it's like it doesn't really work very well. It's kind of wonky, and you have to keep revisiting this place over and over again to keep it alive, and then you get a good item if you like do it the whole game. So I was focused on that,
Hmm.
and I looked it up. Apparently there's a way to cheese it really easily, which I started to do at the end, where you could just win instantly because of weird PS1 ness. And yeah, there's jank. I don't know, there's elements of like annoying stuff, but then if you think about it, it's crazy that a PS1 game spread across like 4 discs has so much content in it and just so much crazy stuff. And the story is actually very interesting and
Hmm.
pretty unique and cool. And like, there's a lot going on. I've been really enjoying Final Fantasy VII.
Yep. Very pog game. From everything that I've heard it's pog so much that I can say it's pog.
Yeah, it is definitely worth playing at some point. I want to play it before I play the remake because apparently the remake is like a soft. It's a remake but like a soft sequel, but not really a sequel. Like it's like a soft continuation. Like
Yeah.
they expect you to have played the original to get
Hmm.
references in the remake, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I
So
heard as well.
yeah, I'm gonna do that. But otherwise, I've just been watching a bunch of console modding videos on YouTube. I've been really like wanting to either buy a modded console or like do it myself.
Hmm.
Mainly like Game Boy Advance or Game Boy SP, where they will cut up a Game Boy and like put in a new screen and put in like a lithium like USB-C chargeable battery, and they'll put in like crazy stuff and change all these things. I've been really watching a lot of those. Or here there's a really good YouTube channel that is called, let me look them up. where I've been
Let me look
watching.
them up. Oh, I gotta
Yeah,
look that
that's
channel up.
no, it's called. Where are you? Scroll down.
Oh
It's
my,
called
where are you?
Shank
Scroll down.
Mods. They made the Shank Mods channel keeps making like Wii portables, which apparently is a really big genre of modding where you cut down a Wii motherboard
Mm-hmm.
and try to fit it into a portable system so it can run
Mm,
GameCube and Wii games and emulators like on actual hardware but in portable form. And yeah, so he one of the videos is making a Wii portable in an Altoids can,
oh my
an
god.
Altoids tin, and then some of them are like making making GameCube Switch controllers, just cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really got me interested in starting to like learn about some electronics and like soldering parts together and doing whatnot. But
Yeah.
I don't know where to start with that. You know, it does seem like a fun hobby, but
Mm-hmm.
stuff like this stuff's getting rarer to get, and people are charging crazy money. Like I wanted to get an Xbox Explorer Guitar Hero guitar. I already have one, but I was just looking for a friend to buy one, and when I bought
Mm-hmm.
it, it was $40, and it was still kind of like hard to find it at that price. Now they're charging like $80 or more. Like they're charging like $100 for these controllers because they're not making more of them, which is just sucks. You can't really play Clone Hero without a good Guitar Hero controller.
Yeah.
Oh man. Did you ever get into any of the plastic instrument games?
Yeah, I did play Guitar Hero and Rock Band quite a bit when I was younger. I had like the obviously had the guitars. I also had the drum set, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
then like the microphone. I had the whole kit.
Oh, you had a garage. You had a rock band.
Yeah, I had a fake a video game Rock Band.
Yeah. Did you? Do you still have that stuff?
I don't think so. I think I might have. No, I think we sold all the stuff probably.
Damn. I had DJ Hero at one point, which
DJ Hero.
DJ Hero is actually kind of slept on. It's pretty good, but it wasn't guitar. Like I always wanted Guitar Hero. I
Hmm.
always was like so in, and then it was just never. It was one of those things where my parents were like, "You'll never use it." But I ended up getting like the DS Guitar Hero game, and then
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah, and then also like DJ Hero, and it's like for the price of DJ Hero, I could have just got regular Guitar Hero. It would had more. It would have had more applications for other games.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, now that I'm trying to actually learn and how to play the bass, it does feel weird trying to go hard on Guitar Hero because I'm like, well, it's fun. Guitar Hero is fun, but if I'm gonna spend time learning something, I kind of want to learn an actual instrument just because I
Yeah.
think it's more practical, like applications. But as a game, I think Guitar Hero is a lot of fun.
Yeah, you mean to tell me that playing Guitar Hero isn't the same as playing real guitar?
It isn't, but I feel like maybe parts of it transfer between the two. Just like I don't know, just like dexterity and finger stuff. I think there is some overlap, at least in terms of how you move fingers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, James, since it's the holidays are coming up. The holidays are like as we're recording this, we'll be releasing this. We'll be pretty close to Christmas. Do you have any memories, like fond memories, or just any memories at all of gaming during the holidays, or just like what games you got or something that you got for Christmas that you really liked?
I think my best memory is probably when I got Black Call of Duty Black Ops 1. This is
Okay.
like yeah, end of 2010. I remember I played it at a friend's house cuz he got it like on release date, and I was like, "Wow, I really want this. I want this game so bad." And my mom told me she wouldn't get it for me for Christmas cuz it was rated M. And I just got it anyway. And I remember my fondest memory was the flamethrower was really cool in that game. So I just burned people to death as an 11-year-old child, and I loved it.
Oh, that was a kill streak, right? I was like trying to
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, it
Oh
was one
man,
of the lower kill streaks. It was kind of bad, I think.
Black Ops One was pretty good with
Yeah,
like the zombies and loud noises.
awesome.
Uh,
Oh yeah, it is 7 o'clock. Sick.
Yeah, the zombies mode was pretty good in that. The fact that you could like break out of your chair in that game and do like the dead ops mode, like that, there was cool
Yeah,
stuff
that
in that
was
game.
really cool. But
Yeah,
actually, no.
that.
Looking back, the flamethrower wasn't a kill streak; it was an underbarrel attachment.
Oh god, I really forgot about all that. I thought it
Yeah,
was a kill streak thing.
that's why it was so bad. Now I remember.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, Call of Duty is interesting because even nowadays, it's kind of like adult men are playing Animal Crossing and Kirby, and literal children are playing the Call of Duty. It's kind of inverted a bit.
Hmm.
Um, but I think all parents back in the day were kind of like, all right, it's an M-rated game, but it's basically just arcade shooter. Like all your friends are playing it. We're gonna we'll let it slide. Although I will say I played the campaign of Modern Warfare 2 in front of like my family, and I get to the end of the game campaign. Spoilers for Modern Warfare 2, the original's ending campaign. It's like the one. I think there's literally like one f bomb in that game. I don't know if they swear more, but
Hmm.
at the end of the game, you get like stabbed in the chest with like a knife, and then I forget who even. I can't even spoil it because I forget. Like John Army
John
says
Army.
like "f you," or no, you maybe you say "f you" to the him. You take the knife out of your chest, and you you have a sick throwing knife
Oh
segment,
yeah, I
and you
remember
throw the
that.
knife at John Army. And I think you say "f you," and I think my parents were more upset at the language than the disemboweled knife man throwing a knife at the head of another guy. But yeah,
Oh man,
John Army.
yeah. Other Christmas memories. I remember this was the first time I got a Christmas present for myself because so it was 2013. If you, for those of you who don't know, 2013 was a very important year because when GTA 5 came out,
Okay.
and I tried to buy it with my dad a while, like not too long after it came out at a GameStop. And we got to the cashier and everything was fine. And then he went on this like whole rant about how like, yeah, this game is really bad for people that are like not adults.
Oh God.
And and like my dad changed his mind because of it. It was God. I hope that that GameStop employee don't like him.
That happened to me
He
with Red Dead 1 as well. And I was like or way older. I was probably like 16 or something like
hmm
or like I don't know. I was probably in the range of being old enough that I could completely be fine with it.
hmm
But yeah, Red Dead 1 the employees like, "Oh, actually this game has like really like crazy like hookers and whatever." And it's like, "Really? Red Dead 1, the game about the sad man being sad?"
yeah. And God, I remember we had came home. My dad told my mom about the whole situation, and at the time, my brother was in college, but at the time he was 18, and my mom ended up saying, "I would not allow you or your brother or even your stepbrother." My stepbrother was like 30. Said none of you are allowed to play this game. And then on Christmas I got a like Microsoft Point card or something.
Mhm.
I just bought it on like digital.
Oh, there you go.
I just
Yeah.
played it anyway.
It's so funny that that game it's supposed to be like the worst thing you'll ever see. It really is not bad at all. Like
Yeah,
those games. Those
like
games
sheesh.
are not that crazy.
You literally don't
Um
have to engage with any of the strippers or anything if you don't want to.
yeah, that was always funny. Um
Yeah, I mean,
but
the funny thing is, I had Gears of War at that time. You want to talk about stuff children shouldn't be playing? My lord,
yeah, but the horrible violence is better than slight nudity. So,
definitely.
um yeah, my some of my earlier memories were DS era specifically.
Hmm.
I have very vivid fond memories of Christmas one year where I had the DS and I was being an intolerable. This will be a recurring theme on every Christmas story I will tell. I was just being a intolerable, impatient, like probably bratty child, and I
Oh
was like,
no.
ah, wah 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 wah. I was like Waluigi. It was Christmas Eve, and I had to go to this like really boring like dinner with like all extended family, just really boring like for a kid thing
Yeah.
that you have to sit through. So my parents were like, "All right, you can open like one present. You get like to like keep you occupied." and it was I opened it. It was Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, which is the second Mario RPG on like the Mario Superstar Saga game or whatever.
Hmm.
So Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, really fond of that game from that experience. I really liked that game a lot because I really liked the first Mario RPG game, the Mario RPG Superstar Saga, I guess, the GBA one,
Hmm.
and that like got me through the event. And later that same Christmas, I got Animal Crossing Wild World, which was my first Animal Crossing game, which I liked, but I didn't get crazy into it, which has always been my lifestyle with Animal Crossing.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was that era, and then I have a couple other tales. But do you have any stories like in that vein
Hmm.
before I get too into my crazy other being an awful child story?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I did you ever have a Christmas where you didn't get the thing you wanted? Like you just got you wanted one specific thing and you didn't get it.
Closest I got to that was the Black Ops 1 Christmas, because it was actually the last gift that I opened, and my parents they don't open gifts in the morning. They always do it like really late,
Mm-hmm.
and we also it's always like we take pictures with every gift and all that, and like we have a rotation and stuff. So it was like a long wait.
Oh, you have like a big family
Yeah,
thing where everyone gets to open one.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, my Christmas tradition, because it would just be we'd wait upstairs, and then every Christmas I have is recorded like on a VHS or something. So
Hmm.
in theory, I could watch all of my Christmases, which I probably should do one day, but I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
Especially because I do have this Christmas. This was the worst Christmas for sure, but it was because I was being a jerk. So it was around the time the Wii came out, and all I wanted forever was to get the Wii. Now, those of you who were not born during the Wii era, no one could get that console. The Wii was sold out for like a long time. I want to say even like a year after launch. It might have been
Damn.
like a couple months, but like the no one could get a Wii.
Damn, that's not too different from today with the PS5.
Yeah, but at that time it was even crazier just because it was like it wasn't a shortage or anything. It's just everyone bought a Wii. Like it was
Yeah.
crazy. It was the hottest item of all time. Now, my parents, I don't know if this is true. They've told me like, "Oh yeah, like we don't want to get you the Wii because maybe it'll like make your arms hurt or something." Like they didn't know the tech. They thought the technology was like a gimmick or it was weird and like would they
Hmm.
thought it was causing issues. I don't know. But the point of the story is all year or all I was talking about nonstop is like I want to get the Wii, I want to get the Wii. Like that's the only thing I care about. Like literally the only gift that I would want. And that
Hmm.
Christmas, I will have to review the footage, and I really don't want to look back at this. But I think like opening the presents, I was probably like, man, I can't wait. Like literally audibly being like, I can't wait to like get the Wii or something like that. And jumping ahead, I did not get the Wii that Christmas. Now imagine being my parents and just watching your child just the whole time being like, I can't wait to open this, and they just
Oh
what
no.
spoiler, oh by the way, spoiler for Christmas if you're a child. So yeah, your parents know all your gifts, right? So they know that the Wii is not under that tree. And
Oh
all I'm
no.
talking about is like, man, I can't wait till I get this Wii. And it just was like at the end, I'm just like, that's all I wanted. And they're like,
Despair.
and they basically couldn't be like, you spoiled child, we got you plenty of gifts. But like to be fair to me, it's the only thing I would have traded every single gift just for that because that was the only thing I cared about. But also to be dissing on me, I was so mad and like upset that I was like, this is the worst Christmas ever or something. And I'm sure I said something like that. My parents were probably like, this is literally the worst child of all time. And now looking back at it, I think even like a couple days after or something, I'm like immediately noticing of like, yeah, maybe I should have been more grateful. But I think I was pretty young at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but still, no, I cringe about that quite a bit. But I think post Christmas they realized like, yeah, he really wants this Wii, and then it became a thing of check calling GameStop all the time. And then one day, this is the epic Wii story. one day we have them in stock, and it's like we can't hold them for you, and it was like a thunderstorm, like it was like torrential rains. It's like we have a couple Wii's in, and we drove in like like the hurricane weather to the GameStop, and we got the Wii, and I set it up, and then everyone was like interested because when the Wii came out, like everyone wanted to mess with it, not just gamer people, like everyone, like your grandma was playing the Wii, and yeah, we were playing on my shitty tiny CRT TV,
Mm-hmm.
playing some WarioWare, Smooth Moves, and Wii Sports, and it was the best. It really was great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, shout
Yeah,
out to the Wii.
I don't remember how I got my Wii actually. I think I got it quite early. Let me look up the year that it
Was that
came
like
out.
was that like 08? Was the Wii?
Um
That feels right to
the
me.
Wii was, oh my god. It came out in '06. So I actually had a
Oh
Wii in
six.
2007. I think that's when
Yeah,
I got it for Christmas.
yeah, it must have been later because no one could get the Wii for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I just remember seeing it in kiosks and then trying it out, just being like, "Hey, man, I want one of the." Like it was just
I
nonstop for
need
like it
it.
must have been a year of just nonstop. Like, man, I
Mm-hmm.
can't wait to get this Wii. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I recently in this in that on that topic of spoiled children. So since it's holiday season, my parents are having like all these family friends and like uh relatives, like cousins and uncles over and stuff like that. And I'm really starting to realize, man, kids are just hellish around the holiday season. Like
Mm.
they run around and do the craziest things. They like annoy my cats to the point where like my cats don't like strangers already, but whenever they see like children, they actually just hide somewhere, and I have to, especially if it's before they have to eat, it's always so annoying because I'll have to find them to get them to come out for their food, and they can't eat the same food because they have like
Mm.
different dietary things. So, like if they eat each other's food, it's bad. But
Oh
sometimes if one comes out and the other doesn't, they'll just eat all the food. Oh man, but yeah, it's totally not a unique thing being an annoying spoiled brat around Christmas or around any holiday.
yeah, and I mean, when you do have that Santa thing, it's like, well, why didn't Santa bring it? You know what I mean? Like, you're like,
Oh man,
I don't know. I think some kids get a little bit. You get a little bit of a pass because I don't
yeah,
think you can be doing that when you're like an older, like when you're a little bit older. But like when you're really young, maybe
yeah.
I don't know. But
Santa
still,
has his limits.
yeah. Even Santa couldn't get a Wii that Christmas, which is
Santa
fair
is
enough.
limited by the stock of Wii's.
Yeah.
There
Oh
were
man.
parents that didn't believe that Santa would bring it, so they took it into their own hands, and now nobody gets a Wii.
I had another Christmas that was like similar. It was another kind of like mid Christmas. I had some Christmases that were like S tier, and then I had just some mid Christmas. I think whenever something like a cool game console didn't come out or something like that, I think it was kind of a mid. It's like just you're going through the
Hmm.
motions. Christmas one year, I don't know why. I don't know if you felt this way, but it was so everyone seemed like they were really hype about Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think everyone was really hype on that game, and I got it for Christmas, and I was so excited about it, and I was playing it, and it was like, yeah, cool in the moment, but that game is like kind of awful.
Yeah, that game was very, very disappointing. I remember. I think I got through like the first set of things, and I'm like, wow. I think it was one of the first games that I was excited for as a kid. Where I'm like, wow, I just don't vibe with this.
Yeah,
Like that was the moment where I'm like, damn, am I like, is this what growing up is like? I just don't like this.
yeah,
Like it has
that was a
Mario and
Christmas.
Sonic. It's not supposed to go this way.
That was definitely like that's all I remember from one Christmas year was just like, oh man, Mario and Sonic, and that was like I don't remember anything else. Oh man, yeah,
Yeah,
those are my super like vivid Christmas memories. Nowadays, Christmas doesn't really matter as much in terms of. I'm
yeah,
more about like giving gifts to like the younger kids or whatever. Um,
yeah,
and then it's more of a pain to just try to think. It's not a pain to buy gifts for people. I like giving gifts. It's a pain when you don't know what anyone wants and then what to get
yes,
them and all that. It's just,
yeah. Like so for me, I guess also on the topic of Christmas memories. I actually don't have as many strong memories as I thought about Christmas because I don't think there's. I think I didn't have as many years where I didn't get what I wanted, but I also don't think I asked for as much as frequently.
Hmm.
Like nowadays, I barely ask for anything. Like this year is a small exception because I do need a new monitor. But besides that, yeah, I don't usually have the craziest things. Like I got last year. What did I even get last year? I don't even remember what I got last year. But the year before, I remember I asked for a desk, which I still use now. And the year before that, I think I asked for like that was it was yeah. The year before that was when I got Death Stranding. Year before that was a PS4, and I think it's kind of funny. Because my brother asked for a PS5 this year,
Yeah,
and I
I
remember he
think you
said it
can
at the
get them.
dinner table, and I'm like, damn, it's like the most expensive gift either of us have asked for in like 5 years.
Yeah, I'm in the mindset right now of like trying to pay back my parents and buying them nice gifts,
Yeah,
and I find that more satisfying than I really I just tell people like if you're gonna get me something, here's like XYZ, you can get this stuff, but I'm
yeah,
like don't
same.
please just don't buy me anything. I'm my own best gift giver. I'm throughout the year if there's anything that comes out, it's like oh I'll buy that for myself. It's kind of
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing it is at this point.
I
I think
saw
yeah.
I saw a tweet where it was saying like, man, you always say you want like razors, beard kits, and socks for Christmas. What do you really want? And I'm like, well, that's I'd be down with those. Give me those. I don't have them.
Yeah, my I think my big Christmas things this year are like I want some shoes that are nice
Yeah.
or like a better like a nice winter coat, stuff like
Actually, that
that.
reminds me. I did need to ask for new shoes, and I didn't. That's kind of sad. But
Yeah, if
yeah,
people want to
it's
get me
like
stuff.
yeah, I don't think of like the simple things because I just assume like yeah, like get me socks. I love socks. I lose my
But
socks all the time.
it
But
is funny though that when it's a direct exchange with someone like if it's a literally a direct exchange, it's like I'm spending $50 on your gift, you're spending $50 on my gift. We just could have both bought our own things.
yeah,
But I think the real gift is buying something that somebody wouldn't buy for themselves kind of
yeah,
deal. And that's where the best gifts are when it's something like either you make it yourself or it's an experience or it's something like oh I waited in line at a convention and I got someone to sign something for you and then you know give it to someone or it's like oh I got this thing custom made for you that like an inside joke. Those are really good
yeah,
gifts, but like the gift of like giving a $50 Amazon gift card and then I give you a $50 Amazon gift card, it's like well we just both like have worse money now.
yeah. I gift giving is tough, especially with like people that are older, like my parents and my grandma. I always ask them, and they're like, I literally don't want anything. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's cool and all, but if I were to get you nothing, I know you'd be upset.
You see,
And it's like I want to get you something, but I don't know what.
yeah, I gotta figure out like aunts, like distant aunts and
Yeah,
stuff. Like I don't know what to get you.
yeah,
I
those
want to
ones
get.
are rough.
The thing is, like, I want to get you something because I want to give and give you something, but I don't know at all what to get you. I will spend, and that's the thing is, like, I will spend any amount of money on people, and I will like buy crazy. Like, I love buying crazy cool gifts for like younger relatives. I'm like, I will literally buy you like 10 PS5s. I don't care if I'm going bankrupt, but I'll just do it because I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, gifts. Um, it would be pretty sick to buy like I don't, that's the problem though. It would be pretty awesome to like just straight up buy like a younger relative like, hey, everyone gets a Switch this year, but then you're not topping that next year and you're breaking the bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little lucky in the sense that most of my younger relatives were. I don't have any like super young relatives because nobody within 15 years of my age is having kids. So
Fair enough.
so like I'm kind of chill, like I'm fine. And also my family is they don't none of them live particularly close. So like they're
Yeah,
doing their
same.
own like Christmas things, we're doing our own Christmas things. So it's a little bit separate. Like I will every once in a while get like a little like, oh yeah, the four of us banded together and got you like an Amazon gift card. I'm like, sick. I love Amazon gift cards, but yeah, it's not usually like a like exceptionally personal stuff, I guess.
I think I picked up collecting vinyl records as a hobby almost exclusively to be like, hey, you want to get me a gift or buy me a record? It's like the
Hmm.
perfect gift item. I mean, a record should probably cost you like a new record should cost you like 20 to 40, but it doesn't now. It's like 50 to 60. which is ridiculous, or like 40 to
Yeah.
60. So it's like, but it's like a $40 record if you buy me something like that. That's like kind of a good gift range price wise, and it's like I won't say no to it. So yeah, there's or just people just like give me a bottle of wine or something. I don't know. Just you could give me you don't have to give me anything, but if you get me literally anything, I will be like, oh cool, thanks.
Hmm.
Um yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a bad gift. I have a bad gift face when I receive a gift. I feel like I don't show
Yeah.
appreciation. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like I don't freak out. I think people want you to be like, yo, like you get really excited about it. And even if it's the coolest thing ever, I'm really just like stone faced. I'm like, this is awesome. Thank you very much. And I think sometimes people get disappointed when your reaction isn't like crazy.
Yeah. I but yeah, we were talking a little bit about like getting people stuff they wouldn't get themselves, and when I really think about it, there's a lot of things I don't get myself, and I don't ask for them. like yeah, like new razors, like beard kit, like that kind of stuff. Also, just socks. Like I never go out and buy socks, and all my socks are like either singular socks because I lost them in the dryer or something, or they're like torn because my cats ate them or something like that. It's yeah. I just kind of chill and just like yeah, they're socks. They cover most of my feet.
We
I'm
should do.
fine.
I just realized we should do like a Steam Secret Santa for the summer sale or the winter sale, where it's like we each pick a person, and then we buy them a game that like a game for them, and then see if they play. Like, so it'll be a game they probably wouldn't play or buy themselves. I think that could
Hmm.
be kind of fun. Then you give people weird
Yeah.
things outside of their genre, or I don't know. That could be neat.
Yeah. I guess for me personally, so as far as like games I wouldn't buy myself, but most of them are just on my wish list because
Yeah,
it's
there you
like
go.
yeah, I'd like if somebody bought this for me, but like I'm not gonna go out of my way to buy it myself really because I'm not. I honestly I would not play it if I bought it for myself because like the very thought that it's a gift would make me play it. Like I got Hades as a gift, and that's the only reason I ended up playing that game. I played it like a year and a half after it was gifted to me.
My Steam wish list is so weird because there are games on my Steam wish list that'll be 80% off and
Mm.
I won't buy them. And I'm like, why? If I'm not buying it and it's $5, like if it is a $60 game and it is $5 right now and I'm not buying it, I should probably remove it from my wish list, right? I will never buy it
Hmm.
at that point because I've
Yeah.
seen it. I'll see it go on sale multiple times. It's like, why is this even on here still? Am I ever gonna buy this?
Hmm.
I don't know. I have like 100 something games on my wish list. I treat it as just like a maybe this is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. For me, my wish list is always, as I kind of said before, it's if you are looking at this wish list, then yeah, maybe buy one of these for me if you want to get me a gift. Otherwise, I just assume people don't really look at it. So like, I just kind of put things in there.
Yeah, just throw random stuff in there. I have some
Yeah.
just random like just cursed games in there too. If I
Mm.
find a game that's particularly cursed, I'll also throw it in there just so I can like refer to it and show people later.
I think something that's a little funny is back in college, my friends would always randomly recommend me these games like Dead Cells, for example. I'm looking
Hmm.
at my wish list right now.
Which is
Um,
very good.
yeah, one of my friends in 2019 said, "Yeah, the Dead Cells game is really cool. You should play it sometime." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I definitely will." It's been on my wish list since. It's been on sale for it was on sale for $5.99 once, and I still didn't buy it. And I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, like, man, if they could see me now, they'd be so disappointed.
See, another thing I do is wishlist a game, and it's like coming out at some point, and then it's on there
Hmm.
for like 20 years, and you're like, man, is this ever coming out?
Yeah, for me that right now that's Relic Hunter's Legend.
Oh man. I had a game. It was called like Refractor. I don't know. Oh, is oh okay. Wait, I was looking. Is Hogwarts Legacy out? Is that it's out in 7 weeks? Never mind. It was just on Steam.
Damn.
Yeah, this game called Refractor. It says coming soon. I added it in 2017. Um, it's like an indie game where you play as like a Tetris block, but it's a platformer puzzle thing. It was cool. I
Hmm.
played the demo of it at a convention. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is cool. I played it at the convention. I talked to the developers or whatever, and
Hmm.
then I just never heard about it. Maybe it's coming out.
Yep.
I had a weird experience at a convention with the game Iconoclasts. I think it's called that.
Iconoclasts.
Yeah, it's a game. It's like an indie darling game. I think it's like one of those games that took like 12 years to make. I had never
Hmm.
heard of it, but I sat down at the convention and was playing the test demo. So actually, here's my last convent. This is my last story for the pod. But I was at a convention, and do you know when you go to like booths at a convention, they have the game set up, and usually the
Yeah.
developer is there because it's like an indie game.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so they had a booth set up. I could do a play test. I was waiting for people to finish their play demo, and I was talking to a guy at the booth, and I think he was like he wasn't the developer, but he was like something with the marketing or publisher. He was something relevant. We were talking about video games. I had just gotten the Switch. The Switch had just come out. I learned from my mistakes with the Wii, and I was in line waiting for it to launch.
Hmm.
I got a really early Switch, and I was playing Breath of the Wild. I was talking to this guy about game stuff. I mean, he's way more in the industry, so he knew more the actual technical terms. But I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, Breath of the Wild's really good, and for the XYZ reasons, I like gaming. Having this really cool talk with this guy for like 30 minutes. Eventually, I'm able to play test the game. I sit down to play test this game. The developer and the guy I was just talking to are sitting right over my shoulder watching me, and they're speaking like French or they're speaking some different language, and they're just clearly talking about me playing the game. And I'm just sitting there, and I get at one point I'm like playing. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I get lost because I think there was dialogue, and I felt rude to sit and read all of the dialogue because there's people waiting to play the game. So I kind of
Hmm.
skipped through the dialogue, and then I hear like like whispers behind me, like they're probably like you skipping the dialogue. And then I didn't know where to go, and I kept going between houses for a really long time, and they kept talking, and I'm like panicking because they were just like watching me like ruin their game, ruin this man's 12-year vision.
Man.
Um, I mean, realistically, if I was the developer, I think he was probably being like, "Oh, this guy's getting lost. Maybe we should make this more clear or something like that." But
Hmm.
it did mess me up for a bit. I'm like, I still haven't played that game because I'm like, man, it was weird because I felt like so ashamed as like a gamer,
Yeah.
man, as a gamer, which is such a stupid term, but as someone who plays video games, I sat there for like a while lost, and as the literal developer of the game is judging me. Oh man. But yeah, that was I like going to cons and playing uh indie game booths. That's my favorite part of those things.
Yeah. I've been on both sides of that experience. Actually, I've been the dev and I've also been the gamer.
Hmm.
But I guess one last story from me. This isn't necessarily like Christmas related at all, but it is related to a convention, and it is related to getting a game for free. So back in March, I went to GDC, which is literally game developer conference.
Hmm.
It's like the biggest game developer conference, and I was a conference associate, which basically means I'm just that person who like scans your card or whatever to make sure you're not going into an event that you're not supposed to be at and stuff like that. And so at the end, all of the conference associates they got put in a raffle, and they would like win prizes of like various tiers. And I think in tier 3, like the highest tier, there was a copy of Psychonauts, um, a copy of Borderlands 3, and a copy of Anthem.
Oh, that
And
classic
so
game Anthem
yeah,
stood the test of
both
time.
I won in that tier, and one of my friends won in that tier. I got Psychonauts 2, which I still haven't played
That's a
for
good
some reason.
game. I haven't
Yeah,
played it, but I heard it's
yeah,
good.
I've heard a lot of great things about it. And he got Anthem, and so he was walking away. He was like, "Oh man, this is so cool! I can't wait to play Anthem." You know, I don't I heard it was pretty bad, but I'm just like interested in it. And funnily enough, that guy actually works on Destiny now. Um,
Oh,
but and so one of the devs who worked on Anthem, he was right behind him, and he said, "Dude, you know you literally can't play that game anymore, right?" And he said, "What do you mean?" He said, "The servers are offline. It was an online only game." He's like, "Are you serious?" And so he was so sad, but the guy signed his copy, so he was
that's
happy
pretty
about
great.
that. But yeah, it was just really funny. 'Cause he had no idea that he got something that essentially had zero worth.
That is funny though. I was gonna be like, oh, the dev was gonna be like, oh man, I worked on it. No, I'm like, Oh no, no, I know it's bad. I worked on it. That's the right reaction. That game is
Yeah,
so unfortunate.
yeah.
Anthem. Oh man. All right, I think let's end the podcast on that. If you want to send us Anthem hate mail, send it to
Oh no,
HYEP podcast at gmail.com. That is the HYEP podcast at gmail.com. But other than that, I've been Matt, aka Matt Fondude, on Twitter for now, and Twitch and YouTube and other things.
Twitter
And
for now.
James, you are
I have been James, aka James04E, on the social medias. Yeah, multiple of them, more than one. Not more than 10 though. Definitely less than 10.
less than 10. Uh, but anyway, everyone, anthem on and have an anthem night and an anthem new year.
An Anthem holiday season.